Lindsey Durlacher, he touched a lot of people's lives, especially in the wrestling, great wrestling family community that we have. Not only across the country, for the last few weeks have I been receiving hundreds of messages and phone calls, but I've been receiving them from around the world, literally around the world. Benny Jungbach from Sweden, the head coach, was one of the first people that called me and shared his sorrow for Lindsey's passing. Yes, Lindsey touched a lot of people for sure, and a lot of people touched Lindsey's life as well. Some of you wrestlers may remember this. I think it was back in 2006 when 280-pound Ramiro Byers touched Lindsey's life in a big way by jumping on him in the practice room at the beginning of practice. Who remembers that? You guys remember, yeah? Well, apparently Lindsey said something about Byers behind the scenes, and Byers through the grapevine heard it and came to practice a little ticked off that day and grabbed Lindsey right at the beginning of practice and had him pinned down on the ground. He actually was like on him, and Lindsey was struggling down there. And at the time, I was about 10 feet from the commotion in the room. And I looked over, and of course, this will tell you a little bit about the relationship that Lindsey and I had. I looked over, and I saw Byers on top of him, like strangling him, and Lindsey was down there. And I saw it was Byers, I saw it was Lindsey, and I started to walk over. Of course, my first reaction was to go break it up. And then when I realized it was Lindsey down there, I'm like, well, maybe I'll just take my time, look around, walked over slowly, and figured, well, he probably deserved it for some reason, so, and then, of course, broke it up. But the one great thing about Lindsey Durlacher is he was an honest guy. He spoke his mind, and he didn't pull too many punches. And that's what I loved about Lindsey. It also made it easy for coaches to say our piece to him. It was real easy for us to be totally honest with him because he was that way with us. What a great relationship to have. Let's see. Lindsey, of course, was a huge part of a historic legacy with our Greco-Roman program. His bronze medal in the World Championships in 2006, along with his 5th place finish in 2007 when we actually won the world title for the first time in our U.S. history, will never be forgotten and will go down in history. And Lindsey, of course, is just a huge part of that whole victory. Lindsey actually lost the bronze medal, but finished 5th place and scored 6 points for us, and that year we beat the Russians by just 1 point. So again, Lindsey played a huge role in that monumental historic victory. And really it was fun and a glorious moment to see in 2006 when Joe Warren and Justin Lester and Lindsey won their medals. After the competition, I remember back in the hotel, they had their medals laid out on the bed, they're taking pictures, and they put them around their neck, and they're taking pictures together. And it was really fun for us to see how proud they were, and of course, all of us were very proud of their victories too. You know, as an athlete, when I was young, my coaches, they had a plan for me that they of course, wanted me to trust and follow. And as a coach, today, I have a plan for my athletes. And I know my athletes don't always totally understand the plan. Like when I was young, I didn't totally understand the plan of my coaches. Likewise, sometimes I feel my athletes don't understand the plan. And you know, the other thing is wrestling coaches are not perfect. We don't always have a perfect plan, and we make mistakes. But the one thing that we can count on in life, there's a coach out there that has the perfect plan. He has a flawless plan, in fact. And I don't understand why a 36-year-old guy, a young man in the prime of his life, was called home early. But we don't, always understand God's plan. And but as hard as it may be, sometimes we have to trust in God's plan and know that you know, that he's got the main plan, the big plan. So anyways, in closing, I'd like to just say, Lindsey, of course, touched my life as a coach, for sure. He made me smile a lot, and yeah, he made me grit my teeth a lot of times. But I love this kid to death, and today I like to celebrate. I'd like to celebrate his 36 years of life, and I feel very honored to have known this great young man. And at this point, I'd like to show a little highlight clip of the 2007 World Championship team that has some really killer shots of Lindsey Durlacher.